All right, so Jacob has a great question for us today, and it's kind of a long question, so I'm going to read it. Often, we call humans whose bodies still mostly work, yet whose brains no longer function dead or brain dead. Yet, we call plants who have no neural function whatsoever alive. Why does this distinction exist? If a human who is brain dead, but whose other organs still function is considered dead, shouldn't plants also be considered dead? Well, Jacob, I think humans that are brain dead are still very much alive. And so you're asking a really important question, and it's a question that we could argue about and have philosophical debates about, but it's really what do we use to measure life? And I think in a lot of biology, most biologists would agree that metabolic activity is one of the defining features of life. So what do I mean by that? Our bodies are made up of cells, and inside each one of our cells, there are little pieces of equipment and machinery that are going about their business on a daily and every second of our life, those cells are doing things, and that's what metabolic activity is. We eat food because our bodies need energy, and the energy is actually created inside each one of our cells individually. One of the little powerhouses in our cells is called the mitochondria, and mitochondria break up the sugars that we eat and convert it into energy that we use in other parts of our bodies to build new cells, to grow hair, to maintain our body's health and strength and everything. So a person who is brain dead, their brain might not have neural function, but their body's still very much alive because those cells and the rest of their body, their heart's still pumping, there's metabolic activity continuing to go. And that would certainly have to be one aspect of a definition of life. There's a lot of things that I won't bring into my answer here, where we could get off and say, well, what about this or what about that? But metabolic activity would be one of the foundation principles for life. And if we look at plants certainly have metabolic activity. Inside their cells, they have mitochondria, that powerhouse I was talking about, just like you do. And just like our bodies break down sugars to provide the energy that we need to grow, plants' cells have mitochondria that break down sugars to provide energy so the plants can grow. So I don't know how much you like to read, but maybe you could look in the library and look for a book. It's called What a Plant Knows. It's available on Amazon also, but go see if the library has a copy that you can just check out. And it's a fun book to read, and it goes through all of the human senses, the sense of sight, the sense of smell, the sense of touch, and other senses that we have that we don't normally ascribe to plants. And it gives you a plant's perspective on actually some ways that plants do see. For example, why do plants grow towards the sun? Or the sense of touch. Plants with tendrils like grapes or pumpkins out in your yard, they have these tendrils that wrap around things to help them cling on. How does that tendril know to wrap around whatever it's touching? So plants do have a lot of attributes. You're right, they don't have a neural system the way that we do, but the lack of a neural system isn't a defining feature of life. So great question, Jacob, and I hope you have fun exploring other aspects of this as you think about some of the things I've shared with you today.